Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Rachel. Today we are going to be doing a short grounding flow. This is a perfect flow if you're feeling overstimulated, if you're feeling anxious, or your mind is a little bit scattered. It's short, you can do it any time of day, and all you need is a block. If you don't have a block, grab yourself a thick book, and if you don't have a thick book, we can do this without. There'll be modifications. So you just begin by bringing yourself into a comfortable seated position. I like to prop myself up on a block just to elevate my pelvis a little bit and just to feel a little bit more supported. And just breathe. Arriving into this moment, just taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose and sighing an audible sigh out through the mouth. Taking this a few more times in your own time. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Leaving behind whatever has scattered you and knowing that this time, this practice today is for you to come back to yourself. It's not for anyone else, but for you. We're going to begin by just taking a few rounds of controlled breathing to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us get into this rest and digest mode that we want to be. We want to be resting and feeling our best selves, not feeling irritated and agitated by the stresses of the world. So just taking a normal breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to take a few rounds of controlled breath work where we breathe in for 4 and we exhale for 6. I will guide you through these. So just settling in, you can close down the eyes if this feels comfortable. And breathing in, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. You might like to place a hand on your abdomen to help you feel the breath. And then exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And taking now a few more rounds in your own time. Remembering that if you need to shorten the inhale and exhale, that is perfectly available and okay. Can you try and create a bit of a pause between the inhale and the exhale to notice that shift, to bring that bodily awareness into ourselves? And if your mind wanders, that minds often do, bring your attention back to the counting. Bring your attention back to the breath. And know that this is your anchor. Whenever life gets a bit much, you have the tools within you. And taking one more round in your own time. Beautiful, everybody. Now if you have a block underneath, take that and place that to one side. And you can be in a cross-legged position for this, or if your hips don't like that, that's also available to be in a kneeling position. And we're going to place our hands on our knees. I'm just going to do some really gentle movements in one direction, as though you were stirring a pot, making sure to ground your hips down, grounding the sit bones down, and stirring that pot as slowly and mindfully as you can without racing. We spend a hell of a lot of our lives racing to do the next thing, and there is no need. The slower we feel into this, the more we have opportunity to unleash or unlock rather the sticky parts of us that are stuck. And then taking that in one more direction, really articulating the spine as you make these lovely circles around, as though you were drawing a big O with the spine. Brilliant. Now, and then coming through to center, we're going to take our hands to our knees if they're not there already, and drop the chin towards the chest. And you're going to take some really gentle semicircles, bringing the right ear up to the right shoulder, dropping the chin all the way through to center, left ear to left shoulder, and just making these lovely movements. This might be the first time today that you've actually spent some time looking into how your neck is feeling. Especially as we're on our phones a lot these days. We're not really giving the neck the love it deserves. And I invite you, when you're doing this, to close down your eyes, and you can make some really big circles now, some complete circles going in. Perhaps a clockwise direction and then an anti-clockwise direction. You might like to pause and hang out as your neck is hung back if that feels good, to open up this throat, to open up this throat chakra, which can often make us feel, if it's blocked, like we want to say something or we're stuck. And then taking that in the other direction, knowing that we've always got to even out one side. Beautiful. And coming through to center, we're going to take our right hand to the left side of the face, and we're going to take our left fingertips towards the side, just outside of our hips here, and we're going to gently push with the right hand onto the left side of the face. And your gaze can be up. This creates more lengthening in the neck, or it can be down. And we're just going to stay here. And whilst you're here, I really encourage you to breathe into this, as though you were sending the breath directly to this area of the body, because you are. Breathing here for 2 more nourishing breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And coming through center, dropping those right fingertips over now to the right side, taking that left hand and placing it on the right side of the face. And we're going to gently push down with the left hand onto the right side of the face, and your gaze can be up towards the ceiling or can be down towards the floor, whatever feels comfortable. And just remember to breathe. We spend a lot of time when we're exercising holding the breath, but really the breath is just as important as the physical practice. It actually allows you to get deeper into the stretch, into the feeling of your body. Yoga is the union between the breath and the body. There is no one thing without the other. Otherwise, it's just stretching. One more breath here. Releasing the hands down. We're going to come into a really lovely pose, which is an amazing pose if you're feeling that you are a little bit scattered or you're not grounded. So we're just going to make our way down onto our fingertips. You don't need a block for this. We're coming into a wide-legged child's pose with a slight variation here. Knees can be out to the outside edges of the mat. And then walking your fingertips forward here. Dropping the forehead down. Try to just shrug the shoulders up a little bit, just to release any tension. Feel the weight of the forehead placed on the mat. Feel the weight of the 4 fingers on the mat, not 4 fingers, the 5 fingers of each hand on the mat. And just know that you are being supported. And I invite you to take some gentle sways, rocking the forehead from side to side. And whilst you're doing this, you'll notice that the hips are slightly being coaxed open. This is really helpful. And it's such a gentle way of creating some micro tears within the hip joint, or the hip area rather, to help release any holding. And when you've done that, you can just come here for 3 nourishing breaths. Make them as slow as possible. Breathing in and then breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. And then shifting. Now walking your hands over towards the right hand side. So we're going to walk our hands over, placing your left hand on top of the right. Your forehead can come down to the center between 2 of the arms, or you can slightly look over to your left, underneath your left armpit, to create a lengthening here. Please try and keep your sit bones grounded at all times, because that helps to intensify that stretch without forcing. Okay? Breathing into this part of the body and just unlocking. Keep with the breath and then moving yourself over through center, over onto the left hand side. Now placing the right hand on top of the left, and you can gaze underneath that right armpit if it feels available, keeping the sit bones grounded and just checking in with how the body feels. Noticing, is any tension stored in the body in particular areas here? And just softening. Really trying to meet yourself with compassion and grace here, rather than forcing and pushing. And coming through to center, beautiful. And walking the fingertips up towards you. Taking a moment just to get yourself back together. It's quite an intense grounding pose. And we're just going to show ourselves a little bit of love here by tucking under the toes. So we're coming into a pose, I can't speak. We're coming into a pose called fire toes at the moment. And what you're going to do is untuck all 10 toes. And this can be quite a intense pose if you haven't done it. But often when we're flighty and we're overstimulated, we need to ground ourselves. And our feet are responsible for a lot of grounding in life, but we don't really show them enough love. We don't really appreciate them. So this is a lovely pose to get into all the nooks and crannies and stretch the fascia, the connective tissue in our feet. You might like to extend your arms here and just make some gentle wrist rolls, going in a clockwise direction and an anti-clockwise direction. Again, we're just being really mindful and slow, as though when we were doing this, we were gliding our hands through something really slimy or gooey, so it's not fast. And then taking the palms, and I want you to imagine you've got an invisible wall here, and you're going to push that invisible wall and bring your tops of your fingers towards your forehead. Feeling that lovely stretch in the wrists and along the arms. Remembering to breathe. And flowing, placing your hands on the floor. And you're just going to tap the backs of the feet here. And tap the backs of the feet. We're going to take some really gentle cat-cows here. Okay, so really slowly and mindfully, we're going to drop the belly, gaze comes forward. And then we're going to round as we push up into our cat, making sure the knees are hip width apart and hands are underneath the shoulders. I'm not looking for the perfect posture. What I'm looking for here is you really articulating the movement and feeling in to the way the body is moving in this pose. So how are the three parts of the spine, those three major parts of the spine, how are they moving? You can close down your eyes. In yoga, we call this pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses, which helps you to feel inwards. Breathing with the intention, with the movement. This might look like a really simple pose, and it is fairly overused, but there's a good reason for this. And now I invite you to make some intuitive movement, closing down the eyes and just making whatever movement you feel would be helpful for you, perhaps shifting back onto the heels or pitching forward over the wrists. You could invite yourself into moving in a really lovely way. And then come to stillness. Cross over into a seated position. We're going to come into a forward fold, okay? So we can extend that right leg out to the side, bringing the top of the left foot to the top of the right thigh. And we're just going to surrender downwards, okay? But before we go there, just making sure that you're facing and drawing your hips over to that right leg. Hands are placed in between that right leg. And we're just going to make some gentle undulations here. So breathing in as we lower and breathing out as we come up. Flexing through that right foot. Breathing in as we lower. Breathing out as we come up. Really good. Breathing in as we lower. Breathing out as we come up. And then taking your fold here. Just taking this to wherever feels comfortable. You can round through the spine. You can grab hold of the foot. But I want you to try and connect to a part of your body through the breath. You're going to be here for 4 breaths. Just connect to this part of the body and sending the energy of your breath here. And then coming up through center. We're going to extend that left leg out now to the side and take that right foot into the top of the left thigh. Spinning your hips as best you can, okay, towards that left leg and just dropping down here. You can notice that this side for me is a lot more tighter. Breathing in, we soften towards the floor, and breathing out, we rise. Breathing in, we soften towards the floor. Breathing out, we rise. And then finally breathing in. And we are going to soften here and be here for 4 breaths. Your forehead can come rounded towards. Please don't force. Remember to flex that foot and just drop into it. And coming up through the center now. We're going to come into a supported bridge pose. This is a really lovely pose to ground and just feel that connection and softening as though we're being supported. If you can't do a supported bridge, you can get yourself a cushion and put that underneath your sacrum, which is the flat part of the back. Okay, you'll notice the sacrum because it feels comfortable. It does not feel that comfortable when we don't have it on the sacrum. So I invite you to take it onto whatever setting you want. Okay, if you want a little bit more of a back bend, you can place it on the highest setting, but on the sacrum part of the body. And then you're going to just take your hands open to either side, palms facing up for a gentle heart opening here. Option to extend the legs longer to either corner of the mat, your feet will come. And this will open up the hip area, the psoas area. And just breathe. Breathe and enjoy this lovely pose. We're going to be here for about 2 minutes. So really enjoy it. Remembering always to connect to the breath and to bring gentle awareness to the parts of the body that are being opened up. About a minute now. Keep with that breath. I'm going to release the block and come down onto our backs, placing the block to either side. I'm just going to take some really nice gentle movements with the knees opening to each side, so your feet can be hip width apart, and you're just going to drop the knees over like you were a windscreen wiper of a car. And I really want you to try and do this as slowly as you can, okay? Because this is really entering like the deep parts of the hip in a really non-aggressive way. Taking one more onto each side as you can. Keep moving, taking one more onto each side. And then we're going to bring our feet into the middle, into a reclined butterfly for our final resting pose of Shavasana. So you can have your legs out to the side. If you've got two blocks, you can place the blocks underneath here. If you're like me, I struggle with a lot of tightness in the hips due to nervous system responses. And that's okay, but it's just something I work with continuously. So you'll notice the more you practice yoga, the more you have parts of the body that need a little bit more love than the other parts, and that's okay. And just surrendering to the floor, placing your palms facing upright, and noticing how your breath feels now that you've taken a little bit of time to soften and to ground. Flowing with the breath. Really nice, everybody. And you can stay here in your own time. If you want to pause this video and stay a little bit longer, please do. There's no need to rush off. But if you're with me, just gently rock onto the side that you feel most comfortable and place your hand down by the side of your face and push up gently, coming into that seated position, keeping your eyes closed. We're going to seal in the practice today just by bringing our hands to our heart center. And then bringing our hands to our forehead. Maybe have kind and compassionate thoughts towards ourselves and others. Bringing our hands to our lips. Maybe speak kind words, especially to ourselves. And our hands to our heart space. May we do good things. Thank you for practicing today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow, subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone who needs it. I am looking forward to seeing you in the next flow. Namaste.